A chilly night on the last day in September. Hello everyone and welcome to Boucher Field on the campus of Husson University for a non-conference Maine collision between the men's soccer programs of the Husson University Eagles and the Bates College Bobcats. I'm Caden Trenowith and alongside Jake Ouellette. The Eagles have caught fire in the past 2 weeks after going winless in 7 to start the year. The Eagles have ripped off 3 straight conference wins and are fresh off a weekend where they scored 19 goals in 2 games. Jake, a team that has completely flipped the script on their season.
Yeah, absolutely. Getting through the conference schedule is tough, and especially with a powerhouse like Bates coming into town, it's good to have the momentum after the 2 games against Vermont State heading into this one this evening.
Yeah, and on that other side is a Bates squad that come off one of the best starts in program history. Ben Brewster's second season and the Bobcats have improved to 5-1-1 and are newly ranked after taking down the number 13 defending national championships Amherst.
Yeah, absolutely. Bates is big on their play. Coming in, they're not going to take many risks tonight, is what we've looked at throughout this time. They're not going to take many risks, so the Eagles are going to have to kind of get into that stretch and not press too quickly.
And that man in the pipes, George Nassar, is going to play a crucial part in the outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. He's our key player for Bates this evening. One of the best goalies in the country, all levels. Crazy numbers so far this year, a .29 goals against average. That's unheard of. 2 goals allowed all season, and that was in the loss and in the draw that the Bates Bobcats have seen this year.
And for that freshman on the other side, Liam Mason getting the nod in what is certainly one of the biggest starts of his young career.
Yeah, Liam Mason, a guy that's Coach Bermudez is familiar with. Played striker, knew him as a striker, came in as a goalie. He's kind of taken the reins over the last couple games. 1.92 goals against average. Very good numbers from the freshman. He can only improve from here.
The Eagles are certainly up for a tough task, Jacob, but what are the keys if they want to pull this one off?
Yeah, the Eagles, they're going to have to play physical. This is a physical game. Soccer is very physical. We've seen the Eagles be physical beforehand. They have to play strong defense against Bates. Bates is going to score. They're one of the top scoring teams in the country, and they got to play defense. And the mental game. They can't, one little mistake, they can't blow up. Their heads they can't go way out and attack everybody, foul everybody. So it's got to be a clean mental game from the Eagles this evening.
The Husson University Eagles and the number 13 Bates College Bobcats after this.
Take 4, 3, take 3.
We've got a great show, everyone. Thanks for coming.
I need shots, guys.
Scene 4, take 4.
This school has something for everybody. You will feel welcome here the second that you come.
The student-to-professor ratio is actually pretty small. I've been able to work closely with every single one of my professors.
The starting lineups, the national anthem. Jake, a little bit of a difference. Audney glue time, getting the nod in defense. Two players we haven't been used to seeing in the starting lineup this past weekend.
Yeah, and we're seeing a lot of new faces coming through this tonight. See 8 newcomers to the program in the starting lineup tonight. A little bit more of a defensive unit for Coach Carlos Bermudez with this very offensive-heavy Bates Bobcats offense.
And what are your players to watch out of these two squads? There's a lot to like, in my opinion. I think it's going to be coming down to the defense, but what do you like here?
Yeah, defense is definitely a big piece of it. But for me, as a former goalie, it's the 2 guys in the net. George Nassar, Liam Mason. These are 2 very young, very good goalkeepers coming into this one under the lights. Big-time game, big game feel. It's postseason feeling at Boucher tonight. And we've seen Nassar do it before. He's done it. He's done it all throughout this year. Liam Mason's kind of getting into a stretch where he's consistently getting starts now. I'm looking forward to see what the 2 young guys in the net will do in this one tonight.
Yeah. Out of the 5 goalies on the squad, 4 of them split time this weekend. Liam Mason, the only one to not see action. But he is someone that saw some action throughout the week, last weekend as well, in a couple of those big games. As you can see, the starting lineup right there. 8 new faces for the Eagles. We asked Carlos Bermudez before the game, what is going to be the key to this one? He said, NESCACs always play tough. You pretty much have to play a perfect game against a NESCAC opponent. Any weakness you show, they will punish you. And Jake, I feel like that's a perfect explanation for this Bobcat squad.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a team that doesn't take risks. You see a lot of times in Division III soccer, teams taking risks. The Bates will take it to the back line, and they'll just play around. Move it along, left to right, along the back line, and then they'll find an opening and take the opening.
As we are just about to get underway on Boucher Field, game number 12 for Husson men's soccer is against the Bates College Bobcats. Eagles in the all gray, Bates in the signature maroon. Game gets started. First touches for Desorme. You can see the fast press immediately by Bates. No time on the ball for Husson, and a quick turnover to Stevenson. Shadi Hamadi, he's coming off a big couple of weeks here for this Eagle squad. The freshman from France, getting a couple key starts in this midfield, attacking midfield position. He plays so well.
Yeah, this is a day to make a name for yourself for these young guys. Lots of freshmen in the lineup. I think we had 7 of them in the lineup today. This is a big day. Make a name for yourself coming into a ranked opponent here at home.
You can see the absolute intensity from this Bobcat squad. As soon as an Eagle touches it, they got 2 to 3 guys pressing immediately, trying to force that error. That one takes a bounce off Jorge Mora. Couple big week he had against Vermont State Johnson. This is what Bates does so well, forcing this ball in deep, watching the attack in play. Bianco goes down after a hard challenge from one of those newcomers, Wessel Eldering.
Yeah, Eldering has been a big piece for this defense coming into the year. Being one of, he's a junior. He's a junior academically, but he's still new to this program, and he's been very solid for Coach Bermudez in this back line.
The one thing that you can say positively about this Eagle squad is they are playing hard in the midfield, something Coach Bermudez said Bates was going to try to win. That's what they try to do, win that midfield battle, all of them. I'd say Husson has lived up to the challenge in these first 3 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. In the game of soccer, you're going to win the game in the middle of the field. If you win the game in the middle of the field, you're going to get more offensive opportunities than you're going to have defending opportunities.
Quick ball here. Eldering is there to kill the attack. He'll go all the way out for a goal kick. Liam Mason getting one of his first touches. Bates is pretty aggressive off these goal kicks. They play them like it's zone coverage in the NFL, really. They are going to press hard. They want to win this first ball immediately. Bermudez yelling out directions. Big boot by Mason. Enrique Mendez was there. Almost won the second ball. Mason's out there. Very comfortable with the ball at the feet. Played in an 8-man soccer league in high school. Was a striker on that team that won the state championship in Maine. The Greenville Lakers. However, recruited to Husson as a goalie. Known Carlo Bermudez through a travel team. And that's how he came to Husson, and that's how he gets his start in the pipes tonight. Haven't seen Husson really push the action yet. Oh, Nate Glutheim getting his first touches. He's trying to force a breakout. Missed pass there. DeSorm's there to clean it up. Big boot by Eldering. He'll let his defense reset. One thing I love about Carlos Bermudez is he is always up on the sideline, always anxious about what his team's doing, always yelling out directions. Sign of a good leader. You can see him right at the top of the screen. That is pretty much his position the entire game, always yelling out directions, just pacing the sidelines.
Yeah, we saw him earlier this afternoon around 3:30, and we saw him pacing the hallways. He was pacing in the offices. He was walking up and down the hallways. He's got that jitters. It's what happens when you're a former player heading into a coaching role, is that you're going to get those jitters just like you when you were a player.
Foul call on Bates, a free kick coming for Husson. Liam Mason will take this one just outside the 18. Liam Mason calling his team up. Really wants to push this one up. Eagles haven't had a tremendous breakout yet. Here's one that can force some action. Namora, Sucre. Nothing doing, another chance shut down by Bates, but this is a nice through ball, but offsides. Bianco just jumped the rush just a tad, and that saved what would be an opportunity.
Yeah, there's that vertical play that we've seen Bates do a lot so far this season. It just didn't get the timing right on this one, but I'm sure down the line they're going to get the timing going. One of the better teams in the country for a reason.
It's just a play they do so well. They're a little regroup, getting it back to their backfield, and a long through ball with speed. And that is how they've punished teams.
This is a great opportunity here for the Bobcats so far. Nice little set piece in the offensive third, trying to get something going here just under 10 minutes into this one.
Wilson Smith pretty much takes all of these in the attacking zone. A goal and an assist against Amherst in their 3-0 win. That helped propel them up to 13. Huge header right there. Just sails over the net. That was Yokovity, senior out of Florence, Italy, the captain of this Bobcats team. You can see the goal kick strategy a lot different than what Husson normally does. They try to take this one a little bit more short. Liam Mason calling his squad up. Pretty much everyone's over the half field line. This time it doesn't work, and Bates is on the attack. Fouché. Good defense by Desorme. Mora's there to clean it up, but it will go off of him. No, it will be a Husson throw in instead.
It's a good break there for the Eagles.
Jean-Baptiste passes it off to his back line. This is where you have to watch out. Eagles can't get too out of position. Here comes that long ball. Mason will be there, and no run was made. The Bobcats don't waste any motion at all. Your head has to be on a swivel all time if you're part of this back line of Desorme, Eldering, Pereira, and Glue Time. Sucre. Here is Desorme. He'll give it up to his freshman goalkeeper. Heavy pressure on. Ball goes right back to a Bobcat. Desorme with a huge slide tackle. I believe they'll call an offside. Huge slide tackle by Desorme. Kills the attack. That could have been dangerous, Jake.
Yeah, absolutely. And you get the fast-paced offense of Bates. It's really hard to kind of stay on side all the time. We've seen the second one here in about 2 minutes.
Another throw in deep in the defensive zone. Sucre is the target, but immediately turned over. Can't be liking this if you're Carlos Bermudez. A lot of costly turnovers when you're trying to force some action offensively. Nice little spin move by Fouché. Hard tackle. Ref says play on. Sucre to Mendez. Another deep long ball. Mason will be there. You have to like what you're seeing if you're Carlos Bermudez defensively. I know they're not forcing that regroup like we said. They're not forcing that offense. But defensively, these first 10 minutes have looked so good after your coach admits defense has to win this game.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially with a young group that's back here. Seeing a lot of freshmen, see Glue Time and Desorme. Those are guys are freshmen and sophomores. This is a big opportunity for this young group on the back line, and with the fast-paced offensive Bates, they've done really well throughout this first 10.
A hard foul there. Blanco goes down. I'm sure he just needs a minute. He landed a little bit awkward. Clock does stop. As you can see here, just a awkward collision with Smith, and he goes straight down, but back up under his own feet. It is important to know he did deal with an injury in the first game of the season. The senior captain went down with a shoulder injury, missed some time to start the year. First 19 minutes of that Endicott game, he goes down. Huge loss immediately for the first rough stretch of the year. Good turn here by Hamadi. He finds Mendez. Mendez working back, finds the trusty center defensive midfielder, and as they try to force some action up. Shut down immediately. Goddard was there. Here's a long ball that gets over Glue Time head. Jean-Baptiste gonna slow it down now, waiting for some players. Good slide tackle there. Glue Time makes up for it. Will force a corner.
Yeah, good defense there from Adne Glue Time. That's a guy that we've said off camera a lot. We've liked his play so far this season. The freshman, it's very hard to step into Division III action right coming out, especially coming from overseas, where the play is so much different. But he's been phenomenal so far for Coach Bermudez on that back line.
Bates is loaded up on the back post. See what Smith can put in for a ball here. It actually goes front post. A lot of confusion there. It looked like Liam Mason lost it in the shuffle. Couldn't be punished. Ball comes in, header placed down. Liam Mason somehow keeps it out of the back of the net. That one looked like a for sure goal. Mason pulls it off the line.
Yeah, absolutely. The awareness of Liam Mason, you can't teach that. That's something as a goalie, as we look at this replay here, off a couple deflections too, and he gets on top of it. Very solid work there from the freshman. Very much a hard play to go with when you have 3 guys right there getting the touches.
An almost costly mistake, a foul on Sucre right below us. And he will get talked to after hard body contact. Only about 13 minutes into this game. Refs are normally more lenient with cards at this point. 2 fouls apiece so far. And it'll be a free kick. This is where Bates is a little bit different than every other team. They have their goalkeeper take these free kicks that are just around the midfield area, and Nassar has a cannon on his leg. He can get this to the PK mark.
Yeah, this is not something that I like to see. As a former goalie, you get one bad touch, and you're way out of position.
Big clearance there, but Bates picks it up. Gonna have to try to regroup. Here's Stevenson. Mendez is on him quickly. Trying to force that one deep. Here is Smith. Trying to find the back post. Header goes up. Mason falls in the net. No, they're gonna call a foul. They're gonna call a foul. Hard contact on Mason. Another break for the Eagles.
Yeah, this one is massive. This is one where you have to have... You can see Mason's falling backwards. That's not something you never want to see. If you're falling backwards as a goalie, you got to punch it over the top. You can't catch that, because this is what's going to happen. You're going to see, your momentum's going to take you into the back of the net instead of punching it over top.
Nice little trickery by Mora, but it ends up at a Bobcat foot. Smith trying to find Bianco. He's one of the trusty freshmen on this Bates squad. 2 goals and 2 assists and only 6 games played for him. Big slide tackle by Eldering again. He's had a couple of key slide tackles so far for this Bates back line, Jacob.
Yeah, absolutely. Eldering has been very solid in this front. May not be the quickest guy on the field, but when he gets to a ball, he goes in strong and he gets the tackle 9 times out of 10.
Bianco was named a Bobcat Player of the Week for Bates for one of his couple goals, a couple great stretch for him at the start of the season. Has slowed down quite a bit. Scored in the first 2 games of his collegiate career, but hasn't found the back of the net yet in the remaining games they've had. Here's Miguel Diaz-Alvarez. He's been a difference maker. One of the Spaniards that was brought in. He's made immediate impact. One of the top goal scorers on this team. Amadi loses it in the midfield. That was great defense by Fouché. Blue time goes up against Jean-Baptiste, but it goes off of him and will be a Bates throw-in.
Yeah, right now it feels like the offense is going to have to run through Jean-Baptiste. We've seen him on a couple times here on the wing trying to play something in, and then there's nothing available for him. Right now, Bates has got to try and find something for Jean-Baptiste on that far wing.
Another hard foul in the Husson defensive zone. Bianco, I believe he takes down Miguel Diaz-Alvarez. This will be another goal kick-like free kick. Mason, big boot. Mendez is there. Miguel Diaz-Alvarez knocks it down, trying to create something. Gets it out wide to Mora. Just can't seem to string together passes right now, Jacob.
Yeah, absolutely. It feels like they're trying to go too quickly sometimes, and then there's times where they're trying to take all the time in the world, and they get collided in with 3 Bates defenders trying to make 6, 7, 8 touches to try and get around them instead of taking the 1 touch, settling, and passing.
So foul on Mendez. No, offside, I believe. Nassar takes it quickly, trying to get Bianco out on the break. Catches the ball over his head. Eldering is there. Another key defensive stand, and it will go out for a corner.
Yeah, good work there from Eldering, trying to keep that ball away from the middle of the field. Did a good job there. And now we'll see the defense, see if Liam Mason can kind of work around this corner kick after the first one kind of went a little awkward.
So Smith will take it. Their expected free kick taker, and he's taken every single one except the ones that Nassar has taken. This one's going to the back post, a header on it. That was Yokovity again, but it goes wide. Another break for the Eagles. A lot of chances early for the Bobcats.
Yeah, Yokovity has kind of had with going in on these set pieces.
Foul called again as Blanco hits the turf. He's up. Feels just like a feeling out process in these first 20 minutes. Both teams having plenty of opportunities. Here's Jean-Baptiste. Flag goes up again. Multiple offsides in the first. They're killing the Bobcats' attack. Have to imagine ref's going to miss one of those, and it might end up in the back of the net.
Yeah, and that's one as a goalie where you're kind of like in your mind, you're like, oh, please call this, please call this, please call this. Because you're going to get that 1-on-0 opportunity, and it more times than not, you're not going to find your hands on the ball on that 1-on-0 top opportunity.
Stevenson finds Smith. Here come the Bobcats, shut down by Blanco. Another corner. 2 corners so far for the Bobcats, Jacob. Both of them have been a little sketchy for the Eagles. Mason got lost on one of them. An opportunity from the other.
It's one of these times where you're seeing the inexperience from Liam Mason on these corner kicks, and Bates is really trying to capitalize on these.
Ball's played in, ball's played low. Eldering gets the first touch on it, Moore gets the third. It is cleared away, a big clearance by Miguel Diaz-Alvarez. Mendez is on Stevenson fast. Nassar way out of his net, plays it all the way to his front line. And all of a sudden, a dangerous opportunity for Bates. You have to imagine, if you're Husson, you really want to get the first one. Here's Mora, dumps it off to Miguel Diaz-Alvarez, takes a shot blocked in front by Goddard. Blanco wins it back. They swarm. Big cross played in, but it's blocked. Back to my point, though, if you're Husson, you know how much a goal means. Every time an opponent has scored against Bates, it hasn't resulted in a win. As that one goes out for a goal kick, a dangerous opportunity for the Bobcats on the break. They are so dangerous on the counterattack from what we've seen in the first 20, Jake.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was one of those times where you make the one mistake on the back line for the Eagles, it's more times than not going to turn in the back of the net. We've seen this in all 5 of Bates' wins so far this year, where they've gotten opportunities off counterattacks. A mistake is made in the defensive third, and it turns into an offensive opportunity for Bates.
Mora jumps it off to Hamadi, trying to find Day Sorm, who's out on the break. Slows down the action. Nice little step over, trying to force it back to the middle to Hamadi. Fouché, a couple nice moves in the middle. Good header by Manuka. Fouché picks it back up. Jean-Baptiste gets confused with glue time, and will be out for a throw-in. What have you liked from the Bobcats so far in this opening 20, the newly ranked 13th team in the nation?
Yeah, I've liked the aggressive pace so far for Bates. They've been really good at getting a lot of opportunities. They've been blowing the Eagles out of the water in offensive opportunities. We saw the one down on the left side here on our side, but Bates is coming in and getting all these opportunities. Liam Mason's having to prove why he's getting the start tonight for Coach Bermudez.
Pereira. Good touch around. He'll dump it off to Blanco. Finds Sucre, finds Desorme. Finally seeing some more offensive action from the Eagles. Diaz Alvarez now. 2 Bobcats on him. Gives it up to Blanco. Finds Desorme. Finds Mora. Mora can create a lot of offense on this wing. We saw it against Johnson. He plays a cross in, trying to find Mendez. Up and over. Lands in Nassar's breadbasket.
Yeah, even though that the opportunity wasn't as strong, I still like the fact that they're getting balls into the box, getting balls onto Nassar. Because with the turf, you know, you're gonna get the kind of the routine hops, but you never know. There's the one time where you might get one that skips. And keeping Nassar on his feet and keeping him active in this game is going to benefit the Eagles down the line.
The mighty Iker Alonso getting ready to check in the next opportunity for the Eagles. 5'3" out of Spain. Someone who just doesn't give up. Maybe listed as 5'3", but up against Johnson, one of their 6'3" strikers. He was there to take him down, won a couple balls in the air. I don't know how he got up there to beat the 6'3" kid to him, but someone that is a lot of fun to watch in the Eagles midfield.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why they call them the Pitbull. Pitbulls, they're feisty. Their tenacity is there. You can't teach that. And with being a smaller guy, you got to be aggressive. You got to have that tenacity.
Smith. Here come the maroon jerseys. Out on the break, touch around. Glue time's there with the stand. Came into Husson as a midfielder, but he's earning his keep as a defensive back.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one where he let the play come to him. He didn't go after it. You go after it, that's the one where you make the mistake, and it turns into an odd man rush on the other end. Right there, glue time, he let the ball come to him, he cleared it away, and took the break off of the Eagles.
Because you got to watch out for throw-ins like these for the Bobcats. Hewitt Stevenson takes these. They have these wonky little plays, and you have to play this like a corner if you're Husson.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're looking at our little scouting report that we've gotten, and Bates is going to use that play, and they're going to try and put it in between the 6-yard box and the 18, and it's in an awkward position for the defenses, and Bates has capitalized on these in the past.
20 to go in the first half, still tied at zeros, and that one is out for a goal kick. Here is mighty Iker Alonso checking in, wearing number 24 with the lime green cleats. He's going in for 39 and a platoon swap now for the Bobcats. We see Alberola checking in the wing side, as well as Knife.
I really like this idea from Coach Brewster, getting some guys in up top, get some fresh legs up top. We've seen the Eagles, they kind of battled through these first 25 minutes, and having a bunch of fresh legs coming into it saves your starters for the second half when you would need to make a push.
Push in the back called on Pereira. So this will set up quite a dangerous opportunity. We've seen, especially in the Husson women's games, we've seen a couple plays go in from this range. Won't be a direct shot on goal, but a lot of confusion can be had with how Bates loads up the back of the 18 here. Out on the rush. Punched away by Mason. Bianco might have gotten his head on it, but he was offsides either way. Bianco getting helped up by the Eagles back line.
Yeah, I liked how Liam Mason played that one. Coming in, trying to punch it away, not trying to catch it. You try and catch it, there's so many things that can go wrong. It looked like he didn't even get a hand on it. It looked like it went off the head there of the Bates attackman. But I still like the way that he came out aggressively and went to punch it and not catch it.
And into the game for the Eagles, number 24, Iker Alonso.
Another free kick call. Here's Nassar to take it. It's a very aggressive play from the Bobcats.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are betting the Eagles won't counterattack with speed here. As this one played in, Mason's there to grab it. What would you like to see from a goalkeeper there? I feel like playing that one a little bit faster while Bates is all pushed up. Goalie out of position for the Bobcats. As soon as you grab that, I feel like I'd like to see that out of his hands immediately.
Yeah, I think the way you kind of have to play it a little conservative, though, because you make one bad throw, you make one bad roll, and you have all of those Bates attackmen right up in front of your face. And that's one where you either have to have a cannon of an arm and get it to the midfield spot, or you have to let them move it back so then you can play it on the ground.
Here's another one that Nassar will take. Ref telling him to back up. Took way too much advantage. Eagles holding a really high line. Trying to get these Bates offsides. You saw the pop-up graphic. 6 offsides already on the Eagles. Here comes Moore on the break. He's going to take his space. Stevenson on his back. Good defense by Stevenson to get the ball back.
Yeah, absolutely. And you saw that's what happens when you play that with the goalie. You kind of have to panic and get back.
Good play by Mason coming out of the box. Not panicking, getting that one away. And this will be one of the Hewitt-Stevenson specials on the throw-in. One of the new players, Wessel Eldering, making his presence known early. Couple key slide tackles. Ball played in right at that 6-yard box. Fouché picks it up. Trying to work around. Blocked by Eldering. Out for a corner.
Yeah, another strong defensive presence there from Wessel Eldering. Just pushing him towards the end line and having Stevenson having to try and make a play while being pushed into that back line. So we see Alberola, the one to take this free kick. This corner.
This one played in. This is going to be a great one on the back post. Bates can't have accuracy on the corner. They saw him. Gets it down to Moore's feet. Moore trying to get it through to Iker Alonso. A turnover by Goddard. And that one's away for a Husson throw-in. More subs coming in. A long week ahead for Bates as they go to number 4 Williams on October 4th, and then they go October 5th Hamilton. So a little interesting. Both these teams will play the number 4 ranked team in the country this weekend as they do a Maine road trip going to Bates, and then they'll come up to Boucher Field. Williams College also has the number 1 strength of schedule rating in the nation, and they are ranked number 4 without a loss.
Yeah, it really shows how good of a team they are. The Eves were very strong when we watched a little bit of their stuff, doing a little scouting, and they were really strong. They were a good, strong team, and having the number 1 strength of schedule and being undefeated and being in the top 5 really shows how good of a team they are.
That game will be brought to you here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network on Sunday. This one, big clearance by the Bobcats. Takes a wonky bounce, and it'll be a throw-in for glue time on the far side.
Right here in these next 13 and a half minutes, I would like to see a little bit more offensive prowess from the Eagles. It's been a very on-their-heels defensive first half for the Eagles, which is great. And you love to see the defense, seeing Coach Bermudez's defense trying to continue to play up to what Coach wanted. But you got to get some offensive opportunities at some point.
We've already passed quite a statistic. In the last 5 meetings, someone has scored in the opening 25 minutes. Pretty much every single time. Those last 5 meetings all within the 2000 year mark. Last 25 years. Not a lot of games between the two. Actually, this is the first meeting since the regime change of both Husson and Bates. Ben Brewster coming on for Bates College. At the same time, Carlos Bermudez came on for the Husson Eagles. Big slide tackle by Desorme inside the 18. You have to know you're going to get the ball with a slide tackle inside the box. Desorme, great defensive stand.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen that a lot so far today. We've seen it with Eldering. We've seen it with Glue Time. Now we see it with Desorme. These guys, they know when to go on the ground, and they do it right.
Ball bounced around. Shot launched. It's going to be Conniff. Puts it in the back of the net. Eagles down 1. Bates take advantage. The new number 13 ranked living up to the name.
Yeah, Conniff, he got that ball on his foot. He took the shot. He knew he was good with the shot. So he gets the ball settled down, and then he fires one through a couple different gray jerseys. It's hard for a goalie to track that one when it's coming through multiple different guys.
Mason, just from that angle, you could tell he probably never saw that ball coming. Probably saw it bounce, couldn't see the number 24, Luke Knife there. And it gets slotted home in the bottom corner. Now Eagles, who haven't had a lot of offense brewing, are going to need a goal.
And you're going to see Bates here continue to push the pace, trying to add extra insurance heading into this late stage of the first half.
Stevenson, nice little touch around there. He's going to try to force one in. Another opportunity for Bates. Hard contact as Beckett Parkin comes in off the bench. It's a midfield change of him and Alabiso. Two players that are very technical and can provide quite the offensive spark.
Checking in for Bates, number 2, Antonio Mesa, and into the game for the Eagles, number 31, Beckett Parkin.
Another corner kick to be taken here for Bates. They've had a lot of these in the first half. Alberola. Try to bend this one in to the back post. Seems to be the standard play for Bates. Liam Mason's there, soaring up and grabbing that one.
Yeah, good hands there from Liam Mason to be strong with it. You know, when you're playing baseball, you want to be soft with your hands. Goalies, you got to catch it. And it's hard, especially on these corners, you got to catch the ball. If you don't think you can catch it, you got to punch it away. That time, Mason was confident in his hands, made the catch, and it wasn't crazy coming in from Bates.
Mendez called for a foul. The Eagles were trying to break through. Mason calling out his defenders. Nassar will take this one. Another deep free kick taken by Nassar. Hasn't seen a lot of action so far, only a couple. Balls played into him. I haven't really challenged him.
No, not at all. And like I mentioned earlier in this one.
And there's another one. Mesa puts it in. And just like that, the Bobcats are up 2.
Yeah, right there. It was one where the Eagles kind of broke down defensively in the box there. And Mesa left wide open in the middle of 3 separate Eagles. You can see the frustration from Beckett Parkin slapping the ground. Mesa just found the open space and took the shot and made it count.
After a great opening 30 from the Eagles, all of a sudden they're down 2. This is what the Bobcats do. As soon as they smell blood in the water, they go nonstop. As I believe that's Glue Time that's going to pick up the card there. No, Parkin it will be.
And here's where the mental game comes in. You're down 2. You're trying to press for more. You got to try and press on the offensive end. And this is where the Eagles have shown in previous games where this is where the cards start to pile up and they build up like a giant snowball going down a hill.
Coaches always preach, win the first 10 of each half, win the last 15 of the half. Bates have certainly won the last 15 of this one. Ball played in. A lot of these free kicks have turned into opportunities for the Bobcats. Another quick shot taken there, blocked by Eldering. Goal scorer Conniff was there, but flag goes down, moved into the offside position.
Number 2, Antonio Mesa.
6 offsides this half.
Zach Perrin, and number 24, Luke Cunningham.
What are you going to have to see from the Eagles to bounce back in this game?
This is where you show where the heart of this team is. As my old coach always said, the little man named Mo inside, burning that fire. You got to see a little more action on the offensive end for the Eagles. It's something you got to try and test Nazar here, and they haven't done that so far. So I'd like to see them test him more often here in the late stages of the first into the second half.
It's where a lot of teams have struggled against Bates, not getting a lot of shots. Nassar, obviously as good as he is, stops most of the ones that he does see. Bates only averages opponent 7 shots per game. Big ball played in. Nassar is there to grab it. I believe Enrique was in an offside position, so he didn't challenge it too much. The number 0 brick wall that has been Nassar to start this season. Not to mention this back line for Bates. Nassar definitely has all the stats, but this back line's doing all the little things right.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you get the good numbers as a goalkeeper, it's because you have a solid back line in front of you. So Nassar hasn't been faced with too much adversity. We saw the draw against Trinity and the loss against Wesleyan, but those two teams, they challenged Nazar, and they gave up the goal, and Nazar has been very solid since.
Checking into the Bobcats, number 28, Cully Haidar.
7 minutes left in the first half. Bates with a 2-0 advantage on their first day of being the number 13 team in the country. Hard foul called there. Looks like the foul will be called on Nelson. It'll actually be Craddock Bridge picking it up. A lot of commotion in the box. Iker Alonso will take a short one to Blanco. Eldering finds Pereira. $19 goals over the weekend for the Eagles. You would love to pick another one up here. Add to what has been a great offensive display to end September. This pass by Mendez. Maroon jersey's moving with some pace, but Eldering's there to slow it down.
This is where the Eagles play their best. Their best soccer is when they connect on these passes. We saw a little stretch there, a little 30-second stretch of where they were connecting passes and they were getting down the field, and then you miss a pass and then it all comes crashing down and you get the opportunity that Bates was just having.
Eldering connects with his center back partner, who connects with the goalie. Big boot by Mason. Bridge tries to play one across, but is going straight out of bounds. It's always interesting how coaches adapt to these situations. A Tuesday midweek game when conference play is starting to ramp up. Both coaches openly said, we're not game planning any differently. We play like we do in conference.
It's really when those midweek out-of-conference games, they really put a test to you. It's because you got to treat them like conference games, even though that you're not in the same conference. In a midweek game like this, where you got to try and get through to the weekend, through to the conference play with your guys healthy. Midweek games is usually where injuries happen a lot of the time.
Big ball played in, stopped right there, right across. Can't say I disagree with Perrin's upsetness, I should say.
Argument, yeah.
Yeah. Definitely a push in the back by Miguel Diaz-Alvarez. Definitely a frustrating game for most of these offensive weapons for the Eagles.
And that's one of those calls that you can't make the call and make it a card, because then you got to call all the knickknacks like that. All the tick for tacks. And right there, felt like good no call coming in through that one.
Diaz-Alvarez, 10 games played here, 4 goals and 2 assists. The only man above him in the goal rankings for this Eagles squad is Enrique Mendez, who has done a tremendous job at taking penalty kicks. There's another foul called, much to the disagreement of Bates head coach Ben Brewster. Iker Alonso picks up the foul, still somehow made a great pass out of it. You can see frustration starting to build, even from both sides, Jake. Husson obviously not having a good breakthrough moment so far. They like to push the offense. You can see their offensive players having a little bit of frustration. Bates is getting frustrated with the referees as here's another chance. Liam Mason out of his net. He comes up and scoops it, killing the chance. Mesa was looking for a second.
Yeah, good aggressive play there from Liam Mason. That's one where you got to make the push. You got to make the push. If you get one chipped over you and you were aggressive on it, who cares? Right there, you can't sit down in the back of your net. It's not like hockey where you kind of have to be back more often. In soccer, you gotta get that. You gotta go out, be aggressive. You get kicked in the face, you get kicked in the face.
I feel like only a couple defensive miscues so far from the Eagles. That one was almost one, actually. Glue time and Mason not on the same page, and it'll be out for a corner. Mason not too happy about it. It's coming up, Performance Physical Therapy halftime show. We'll bring you first half highlights, stats, future schedules, and much, much more.
Sounds like a great time, man.
All that coming up in about 2 minutes times as Bates has dominated this first half. Ball played in. Eldering there again. He has won every ball in the air put to his direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's been a big piece of this defense right now. Eldering has been the difference maker on the back end. The score on the board, it's 2-0, but it could be a lot more without the play of Eldering.
Ball played in. Mason gets up and grabs it. Looked to be Gravero that was there, trying to put it in, make it 3. Mason says no.
That's a good play there from Mason. Pluck it off the top of the offensive player's head. Being strong, being aggressive, being confident in your own play to go up in the air and pick that one up out of the air.
Glue time. Finds Parkin in the middle. Local product from Bangor. Finds Alabiso. They swarm. Trying to find Alabiso. Run was not there. Mason just boosts this one. Figured he'd pick that one up the way he was waiting on it, and it's an immediate turnover. Bobcats moving quickly. Now they'll slow it down. The Eagles start to find their way back. Here's Bridge taking a few steps in the green turf. Bates looking for an opportunity. Here comes the cross. Mason there to punch it away. Contact. Not sure what they will call. Mason and Alberola are down. Taking a breather. Mason's up first to his feet. Talking to each other as they're on the ground, and that ends the first half. Look at this little replay, Jake. What's happening in the goaltender's mind here?
Right now, you got to try and be aggressive, go after that ball, try and get it away. It's your box. You have the right as the goalie to play the ball. If you come in, you can't come in and just punch the guy in the head. But if you're coming out to play the ball and make a good play there, you have the box. That's your box. And Mason was aggressive there, made the play, got it out of the way. And the collision, unfortunate things happen, but Mason was aggressive, making the play, getting that ball out.
Liam Mason looking like Prime Ray Lewis with a ball over the middle. Bates up 2-0. We'll be right back with the halftime show. Caden trying with along Jacob Ouellette.
It's time for something new. This month at Varney, get a great deal on a stylish Buick SUV. Or say big on the hard-working GMC Sierra. It's time for something new. Find your something new and experience Varney value. Only at Varney Buick GMC. Find us at 260 Hogan Road in Bangor or at varneybpg.com.
I like to think about courageous optimism by thinking about the question, do you have the courage to be optimistic? Not every day is a great day, but when it's not, do you have the courage to turn it around, be optimistic, serve the customer, and help them reach their dreams? That's how I think about it. I'm Tony McKim, I'm President and CEO of First National Bank. So I live in Trenton, Maine, grew up in Eastport, Maine. The communities are very similar in that they're close-knit, and the overall 18-branch community is one where we run into people every day that A, we want them to be our customers, but B, we want to help them. Financial goals and dreams again. Whatever we can do to make their lives better through a new home or make their businesses stronger through a line of credit, we want to do that and help them along the way. I had a wonderful interaction with a new customer just last week, and he said, all I want is a bank that doesn't hold me back. Well, we're not going to hold you back.
I chose to go to Husson because of the extended reality program. They have tech here available that I've never seen anywhere else.
As an OT, you're able to branch off into whatever career choice you want because there are so many options.
This is a place where you will be accepted. It really is that home away from home feeling.
Husson is how.
Welcome to the Performance Physical Therapy Halftime Show. Jake, break us down some of these highlights.
And we see Liam Mason here. He had the momentum coming backwards. He's been very solid in net. Couple little blemishes on the defensive end. But we've seen, here's an opportunity for Bates. Just finds one in the back of the net. Another one where Bates had the open position. But those ones where you get the guys in the middle there, as a goalkeeper, you don't see the ball until the very last minute. And we saw that a couple times. Little delayed reactions there from Liam Mason. Here's a good one. He comes out aggressively, corrals it in the stomach. Another one punching it away late in the first half. We've seen good play from Liam Mason. We haven't seen Nassar get a little bit of touches on that far end. But overall, like what I've seen from Liam Mason so far tonight.
2 goals for the Bobcats. Luke Knife finding his third. Antonio Mesa getting his second. Those goals came in a 2-minute and 3-second span. Just an insane, quick attack from the Bobcats, putting them up 2-0. The 13th ranked team in the country, Jake, is proving their worth on their first day.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a little slow of a first half start. You saw the first 30, 35 minutes. First 30 minutes of that half where you saw Bates kind of trying to pick out pieces, trying to pick out which spots of the Eagles was going to get there. So we look at some first half stats here. Very offensive heavy day from Bates. 6 shots, 4 of them are on goal. The Eagles haven't put a shot on goal yet. And we've seen the 8 offsides from Bates. It's just showing they're trying to play aggressively. 7 corners. They're playing aggressively on the offensive end. They've gotten caught on the offside a couple times here, but they're pushing the offensive pace of this game. Eagles, they've been back on their heels in the defensive third for most of the most of that half.
Not a stat we track, but something I would love to see is the stats from this Eagles back line. I mean, only 2 goals, but it could be much, much more. Several block shots, several key tackles. What would you like to see? Carlos Bermudez says defense would have to win this game, but now they're down 2. Now I feel like you have to shift to your offense. What is this man saying in that huddle?
Right now, he's trying. You can see the expression of Coach Bermudez. He's trying to get the one opportunity to get that one. Get the one on the offensive side. Take the shot. Take the test. Test them on the offensive end. They're trying to put everything inside the 18. You got to try and test them from the outside of the 18 in that little 25 to 35-yard range where you really got to put one, and you got to try and test this guy in the back of the net.
One thing that I love about this squad, and Carlos Bermudez does too, he said the dynamic has never been better. You can ask the players and they will say the same exact thing. If you compare to all the years I've been here as a player and a coach, the locker room has never been better. That is big words from Carlos Bermudez, and they're going to need that chemistry to come into this second half. That was your Performance Physical Therapy halftime show. We'll be back with the second half very shortly. 2-0 Bates at halftime.
A lifetime of firsts led us here. First baby, first game, first global pandemic. But where others see setbacks, First National Bank sees steps forward. We see hard work, resilience, persistence, a dreamer, a doer, a difference maker. Some banks invest in plans. We invest in people. Community First by First National Bank. Dig in together. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The hands-on experience is such a crucial part of education, period.
The faculty are incredible. They work so hard to make sure that all their students have what they need to succeed.
There's all kind of opportunities, and I'm just very grateful knowing that I have a job lined up full-time when I graduate, and that is all thanks to coming to Husson.
It's time for something new. This month at Varney, get a great deal on a stylish Buick SUV, or say big on the hard-working GMC Sierra. It's time for something new. Find your something new and experience Varney value. Only at Varney Buick GMC. Find us at 260 Hogan Road in Bangor or at VarneyBPG.com.
Take 4, 3, take 3.
We've got a great show, everyone. Thanks for coming.
I need shots, guys.
Scene 4, take 4.
Welcome back. Caden Trenowith alongside Jake Ouellette. 2-0 at halftime at a Performance Physical Therapy and Sports Rehab halftime show. As we take a look at the future upcoming for these two teams, Jake, these are going to be a tough couple weeks for both these squads.
Yeah, a good chunk of good teams coming in for Bates. We touched on it a little bit. Williams, number 4 in the country. Hamilton, a good team coming back to back. Tufts, very strong opponent. Southern Maine, another strong opponent. Connecticut, another good opponent. That's a 5 stretch here with the Bates Bobcats where they got to try and prove themselves. They got to prove that that 13th ranking isn't just a fluke.
I don't remember the current rankings, but I believe Conn College is up there too. So they got Williams and Tufts and Conn College that are going to be very difficult. But for Husson, they also face the number 4 team in the country, and then they finally find that North Atlantic Conference play.
Yeah, you get a conference opponent in Umpy to start it out on Saturday. Then you get the big test. Number 4 in the country, Williams, coming off of a game against Bates. So that's maybe a different look coming into that one. Then you get the New York trip, SUNY Cobleskill, SUNY Delhi, and then you come back here for Farmington, homecoming weekend. It's going to be a big stretch here for the Eagles coming in.
What are you looking for out of that team? What would you like to see from Husson? What do you want their record to be coming off that 5-game stretch?
I don't call me crazy. 4-1? 4-0-1?
4-0-1. You're giving them a tie?
4-1? 4-0-1? One of those two. Realistically, you come in 3-1-1 in the home. You come in 2-1-1 in the homecoming. It's a good look for the Eagles.
Yeah, a game to definitely watch out for in North Atlantic Conference play is UMF. That is a team that has always played Husson good. They have always played good themselves. They are off to a flying start in the southern part of the North Atlantic Conference here in Maine, as well as Thomas right after that. Thomas and MMA. So that's a rough 3-game stretch for the Eagles, especially going into that North Atlantic Conference tournament.
Yeah, and you can't take past Presque Isle. You can't look past them. They lead the North Atlantic Conference in goals scored. That team is going to shoot the ball, and they're going to put it in the back of the net. And then you come in tough test day after against Williams.
How about the number 13th team in the country being tested in this upcoming stretch? Hey, we're going to put you in the 13th for national rankings. Now you got to prove yourself coming up.
Yeah, this is where we see teams that get ranked. And we've seen Bates, they didn't receive votes last week. And then they hop into 13. They just had a big test against the reigning national champion, Amherst. And coming in, this is where you got to prove yourself. Like we've said, time in and time out. Having to prove yourself coming in to a stretch where you get 5 very solid opponents, 6 if you want to include the Eagles.
What are the key adjustments you're going to want to see out of this Husson squad before they take the field for this second half?
Shoot the ball. You had one shot and none of them were on net. Take the shot. Take the 25-yard shot. Take the 23-yard shot. Take the 33-yard shot. Don't try and push everything into the 18 inside that penalty, the penalty dot into the 6. You can't keep shooting the ball into there. You're not going to get it past this defensive unit of Bates. So take the shot. Take the risk.
All right, and that will be our performance physical therapy halftime show. Bates leading 2-0. We will bring you the second half after these messages.
Husson really does an exceptional job at making sure the students are prepared for the workforce.
The hands-on experience is such a crucial part of education, period.
I've gone to my professors for exam reviews. They're just always there and willing to help you.
A lifetime of firsts led us here. First baby, first game, first global pandemic. But where others see setbacks, First National Bank sees steps forward. We see hard work, resilience, persistence, a dreamer, a doer, a difference maker. Some banks invest in plans. We invest in people. Community First by First National Bank. Dig in together. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's time for something new. This month at Varney, get a great deal on a stylish Buick SUV. Or say big on the hard-working GMC Sierra. It's time for something new. Find your something new and experience Varney value. Only at Varney Buick GMC. Find us at 260 Hogan Road in Bangor or at VarneyBPG.com.
Take 4, 3, take 3.
We've got a great show, everyone. Thanks for coming.
I need shots, guys.
Scene 4, take 4.
A minute left in this halftime break. Husson down 2-0. Interested to see what unit Carlos Bermudez runs out here. He started the game with that defensive unit, going a little bit more defensive. But judging by the players on the field, he's looking to be a little bit more aggressive coming out of this break.
Yeah, and I feel like you need to be aggressive coming into this one. You're down 2. You got to push the pace a little bit. This unit's going to push the pace. And one name that's not out there that we would have expected to be out there is Wessel Eldering. He played 90 minutes in the last game for the Eagles. We don't see him on that back line. Instead, we've seen Lucas Menchaca, a fast-paced freshman defensive player for Coach Bermudez. He's in that back line with Pereira and Glutime and Desorme.
Menchaca wearing number 4, one of Carlos Bermudez's favorite defensive prospects that he's brought on. A freshman bringing a lot of height, a lot of energy. Carlos said in his commitment post, shows a lot of maturity on the field despite his young age. His technical ability and composure on the ball will definitely fit in our play style. So we are getting ready for the second half. Number 13 in the country. Bates Bobcats in the maroon with a 2-0 advantage with 45 left to play in this game as we wait upon the ref's whistle and everybody to get in position. Long ball immediately. Trying to test Menchaca. He's up for the task as he heads that one away. Pereira. Wearing the captain's band today. Him and Blanco split the duties. But Pereira, the sole band wearer. Mendez hits the ground, and it will be a foul. And we will have a quick little fake there by Blanco. I thought he was going to take that one.
I thought he was too. I thought he was going to just rifle one into the back of one of those Bates players. Kind of send a message.
Here is Menchaca getting his first touch on the ball with his feet. Also, Irique Weinstein checking into the game. Frenchman coming in for the French counterpart of Thibaut Desorme. Cesar Sucre, one of the first MLS Next products on this Husson squad, came out of the Nashville Sound Academy. Played there for a couple years, then decided to commit his senior season to his high school squad where he was a crucial piece in advancing into the playoffs before being found by Carlos de Bermudez. Throwing here for Bates. Carlos Bermudez not happy with the referee. See his disappointment.
When is he ever, though? It seems like every time we see him, he's always grimacing or throwing his hands up.
No handball called. Looked like Beckett got the hands up there, blocking the face. That's normally not called, but much to the disagreement of the Bates bench.
This is where you're going to see play get a little chippier coming in as the minutes wind down here in the second half.
17 fouls in total in that first half. Split pretty evenly, 9 to the Eagles, 8 to the Bobcats. Glue Time hits the deck on that slide tackle. Doesn't provide much. As Albero picks it back up. Another slide tackle by Blanco. That one's all ball as well. Picked up by Diaz Alvarez. Seems like all the long balls, Bates are winning the first battle. Feels like you can't do much. You can't force those through balls. Bates will always be there first. What does that adjustment have to be for this Carlos Bermudez squad?
It's got to be, you got to connect on the short passes. You got to connect through the middle. You got to swing it out to the right. You got to move back to the middle, swing it out to the left. You got to keep Bates moving left to right. You got to keep him moving. One of those plays will open up. We saw in that first half lots of two-man defensive things for Bates. Two guys on at once, one guy. That's going to leave a guy open. Theoretically, the numbers would add up to having a man up if it's a double team every time.
Pereira there again to get it away. Park a nice little quick pass to Sucre. Finds Alabiso on the far side. This is a guy that can absolutely fly through the midfield. So skilled with the ball at the feet. Took 12 shots on Saturday's game against Linden. I believe he hit the post 7 times before one eventually found the net.
Well, it helps when you put up 65 shots as a team.
Diaz Alvarez, nice little cutback. trying to force something. Good step there by the Bobcats. Back out to Weinstein. Weinstein stutter step. Finds Sucre. Nice little cut back. Alabiso. Mendez. Big shot by Mendez. That one's going to go wide. Being a little bit more aggressive with the shots. Granted, it's only been one. But something you like to see out of the half, Jake?
Well, that's the same amount of shots they put up in the first half. It took them 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, to have the same amount of shots that they had in 45 minutes. So yeah, I like the fact that I like the fact that Enrique Mendez there took a shot. It wasn't on net. Who cares? They're taking the shot. Take the shot. One of these times it'll go on net. And anything can happen when you put a ball on net.
We've said this with Bermudez a couple times, and he seems to agree that Mendez just feels like a true striker. It's been a while since we've really felt like Husson Eagles have a true offensive threat. Someone that is 6'2" and can just find the back of the net, not scared to pull the trigger, not scared of the body contact on the back line. Someone who just feels natural to that position. Mendez out of Southampton, Bermuda. Just a pure goal scorer, member of that Bermuda National Academy. Big ball played in. Miguel Diaz-Alvarez wins it in the midfield. Back to his captain in Pereira. Sucre finds Blanco. Alabiso touch goes awry. Picked back up by Weinstein after a missed touch by Bates. Alabiso, green turf in front of him. He's going to try a long ball here. Run is not there for him. Nassar will get one of his first pickups of this game.
Again, that's the right idea for Coach Bermudez and the Eagles offense. Play that through ball. And you didn't have someone there, but it's a good idea. It's a good idea to get the ball through. Try and get that opportunity. Because one of these times you will have a guy there, and you'll get that offensive opportunity.
Alabiso and Weinstein going up against Hanef, one of the goal scorers to open up this game, the one that broke it open. That one off Kniff, and that'll be a Husson throw, and Irique Weinstein will take it. He will be honored on Saturday, the senior day versus Umpy. Jake Ouellette and Philip Robarge on the call. Men's and women's, both sides will be honored. One of the lasting members of the 2022 NAC championship team is Weinstein and Pereira. So Eagles slowly but surely work their way up the field. Here's Mendez. 3 Bobcats on him. Just trying to power his way through, which he does, but he will be called for the foul on Stevenson. Can't blame it there. Hooking the arm just a little bit, bringing Stevenson down. How about the save Nassar made? Jacob posted on the Bates Instagram account against Amherst when it was still a 0-0 game, with a lunging save up and over the post. Keep that one squared at 0-0.
Yeah, absolutely. That was gorgeous. That was one of those, as a retired keeper, it gets you going a little bit. You know, I was never good. I mean, I was short.
Safe to admit, yeah.
So I wasn't good. I mean,
that's why we're in the booth now.
That's why I'm up here.
That's why Carlos Bermudez didn't scout us out of Maine, in New York. Did scout this guy, Sucre, who could have tried to find Weinstein on the through ball. Couldn't find it, but either way, he'll be out for a Husson throw-in.
Seems like every time we're in the booth, we're always dogging me for whatever sports I was playing growing up.
I mean, it was fun. It's always a fun time.
Wouldn't want to be in the booth with anybody else, buddy.
Sucre finds it around the H. Alabiso touch out wide. Weinstein controls it, goes off the back of Bates' defender. Bates seemed to be a little bit less aggressive. Husson pushing more of the action, it seems, so far in this second half.
Yeah, I think it's more of the fact that Bates is, might be a little too early to say, but it seems like Bates is getting comfortable. They're getting complacent. That's something that playing baseball in college, that was always something. Don't be complacent. Because once you start to be complacent, it's going to turn on its head. The game's going to turn on its head. And it's seeming like the Eagles are starting to play Eagle soccer now.
All ball, through ball to Bianco. He stays on side. Miscommunication about who wants it. Fouché right against the line. Turnover. Miguel Diaz-Alvarez picks it up. He'll try to send it up to Mendez. Here's Alabiso. Midfield magician trying to get a touch around, trying to prove something. He finds Mendez. Just a great defensive stand by this back line, not letting anything through, not letting Nassar get tested.
Yeah, this is where you kind of try and play the quick ball. Quick one touch, go. Touch and go, touch and go, touch and go throughout your midfield. And then you'll find that opportunity. And the Eagles like to try and play these balls across the field to try and get to other guys on the field and get into their teammates. But right now, Bates is kind of locking that down.
Sucre trying to find Miguel Diaz-Alvarez on the through ball. Did he stay on side? Doesn't matter. It will go out for a goal kick.
See, getting pressure in the Eagles' offensive third is definitely a good sign with about 34 and a half to play.
Eagles definitely dropping back into a more defensive stance. Looks to be more of a 4-3-2-1 they are playing now, with Parkin and Sucre dropping back more into a defensive midfield spot with Blanco. Here's Alabiso. Quick burst of speed, finds Parkin, trying to find Mendez. Another great defensive stand. Shout out Noah Greif, the junior out of Washington, D.C. Just proving a lot of, just proving why they're 13 in the country. This defense only allowing 2 goals on the season. Just an insane work. Diaz-Alvarez trying to find Mendez. Did he stay on side? Flag goes up. Carlos Bermudez not happy with it. Not loving the call either is Mendez. When you don't get much going, these little flags that go up, I mean, this is definitely offsides. I understand why they're mad.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they are mad more because they just want that break. They want that break. They haven't gotten that break.
Yeah.
This is when you see Carlos Bermudez start to get a little bit more angry. When you just don't get those breaks. You just want one break for your squad, and you're just not getting it. He was definitely offside. There's no reason to argue that one.
Absolutely. I don't think there's been anybody more offsides than Enrique Mendez was right there. But we're getting into the territory where we're going to start to hear Carlos Bermudez down on that sideline.
Whoa. Ball played in. Mason was beat to it, but cleared away by Pereira. Sucre. Alabiso plays it into space. Blanco runs onto it. How about that Lorax costume?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. We just panned over to it, and all I hear is, whoa. That was never a dull moment in the booth with you. Never a dull moment.
Well, it caught me by surprise. I just looked up.
Look at it. It's an eyesore. You just look at people bundled up in sweatshirts and hoodies, and then you see a bright orange Lorax.
They speak for the trees. We're in the Pine Tree State. Ball played in, back post unguarded. Glue time is there. Big boot by Diaz-Alvarez from a tough angle. Here's Bridge, just floats this one up, trying to force an error. Weinstein's there to cover Menchaca. Mason's there with a big punch out. Diaz-Alvarez providing some defense. Carlos Bermudez getting louder and louder as this game goes on. That one over Glue Time's head. Pereira misjudges it. Menchaca is there. Big clear from the freshman. Foul clear on Alabiso. Bridge will be called for it.
And we're starting to get a little chippier, a little more knick-knack fouls being called as we head into the halfway point of this first half. Second half, excuse me.
30 minutes remaining in this one. Pereira with the free kick. Bates up 2-0. Goals coming from Lucas Knife and Antonio Mesa. Bianco, Knife, and Perron picking up assists. Knife, definitely the player of the game so far. He came off the bench in this one, the freshman forward from Windham, Maine. One of the few Maine products on this roster for Bates, but making a difference so far against a fellow Maine school in Husson University.
Soccer is one of those sports where you don't see a lot of product from the area. Like we see with Maine, with Husson, there's not a lot of Maine guys. You see a lot of international guys. You see a lot of guys that are playing soccer more year-round than schools up north, like Maine.
Only 2 guys on the field are from the 207. That's the guy between the pipes and one of the ones in the midfield with Beckett Parkin. Interesting to see what Bates does here. They say the game plan doesn't change when you're out of conference, but when you're up 2-0 out of conference midweek, the plan kind of changes a little bit, especially when you got number 4 and then another NUSCAC opponent coming this weekend to your home turf.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, for Coach Brewster, kind of feels like he's taking the foot off the gas a little bit, as we see an offsides there. But it seems like he's trying to take the foot off the gas a little bit and not get guys injured heading into this big stretch. We talked about it at halftime. A big stretch, next 5. It's a big stretch, including some NASCAC schools, including some nationally ranked schools.
Blanco, Sucre. Big touch forward, trying to find some options. Weinstein wasn't there for the through ball. The freshman in the midfield, confused with the senior out wide. Big boots by Bates. That's going to cause a foul. That's going to be a yellow card on Pereira. Didn't look to be too much contact.
Right there, it's more of, the card is more of to get control underneath the game. Because if that doesn't get called, then the floodgates open. And giving a card there kind of sets the tone like, hey, boys, we're not going through with this here in this second half. I know you guys want to play aggressively. I know you guys, it's a midweek game. This is out of conference, midweek game. Let's not do anything crazy here.
2 yellow cards on Husson. Important to note, obviously we were just talking about it, but these midweek matchups out of conference, you don't want to take too many cards because those can start to pile up in the NCAA, and then you'll have to serve in a suspension, which you don't want to do with MAC play coming up. So here's the ball played in, bounces around a couple times, just gets a touch outside. They'll call this one a corner. Noah Greif looked to have the shot attempt, but they'll say it was off Glue Time. Bridge will take this one. Bridge, 2 assists this year in his 5 games played. Has seen more of a reduced role this season as Liam Mason jumps up and grabs that one. He'll wait for all his defenders to get up.
That's one where I feel like you kind of got to go with a quick pace. Everybody's in. You had one guy open. I believe it was Miguel Diaz-Alvarez, he was wide open. You got to try and make the push. Right? The seconds are only getting less and less. The minutes are going down quickly.
Here is Diaz-Alvarez working through. Can't get the ball cleared in time, and a foul will be called on Diaz-Alvarez. So this will be basically a goal kick for him. See the frustration and the body language for all of this Husson offensive front. Nothing just seems to be clicking for him as soon as they cross that half field line. Glue time. He's someone who's had a very solid game at this wingback position. He's missed a couple balls here and there, but has recovered well. Big touch by Weinstein. Kniff, shot across. That one blocked in front. Kniff works back. Glue time's there with the big time clearance. Just a little bit of boot ball right now. No one can seem to get it settled. Here's Alabiso. He finally gets that ball on the turf. Big hook there by Stevenson, and it will be called for a foul. That is now the 27th foul of the game.
Yeah, that's what you got to try and, right now for the Eagles, you got to try and push the pace here. You're in the last 25 minutes here, and you're down 2. You got to try and push the pace coming in through the rest of this half. You got to try and get one. Preferably, you would like to get one before the 15-minute mark.
Kniff boxed out by Menchaca, and it will be a goal kick. The freshman off the bench providing a little bit of spark on defense. As Jorge Mora checks back in, he's someone coming in for Alabiso that could make quite the difference on that wing position. Saw his brother do it for such a long time in that number 11 jersey. The next 4 years will belong to Jorge.
We've seen his brother for the last 4 years heading into this one. And he's very similar to his older brother, Alejandro. Very similar play styles. You know, you're going to give me the old, well, they're brothers. Well, yeah, brothers can be different, but they play so similarly. And it's a nice, it's not a change of pace per se, but it's a different look coming in for Coach Bermudez for the next couple years.
His brother Alejandro was a key member of the 2022 NAC Conference champions that went on to lose to Amherst in the national tournament. Carlos Bermudez was on that squad, but only as a student assistant. Got to know most of these guys and their families pretty well. Was able to draw Mora in. Mendez trying to run through that one. Couldn't get the deflection he wanted. Sucre with a big block trying to find Mendez. Sucre picks it back up. Someone who's had a pretty good game in the midfield. Not finding the numbers, not finding many of the outlet passes he normally did this weekend. But someone who's definitely provided a spark, caused a lot of turnovers. Glue time. Norwegian product. Mendez, touch around, big block in front, and we will see the first corner of the game for the Eagles.
Very big opportunity here. 22.5 minutes to go in this one. This is one where the Eagles really are going to want to put something in the back of the net. This is your best opportunity so far of the day, and they got to make it count.
Menchaca goes forward, the tallest member on the team right now. There's Mendez with a chance, but it's cleared away. A better defensive stand from Gravero. Diaz-Alvarez trying to work something. Here comes the cross, another great defensive stand. That time it was Greif. Here's Bridge, working past the halfway line. Nelson trying to work around glue time. A little nick there. This one's played in, cleared away by Menchaca. Tic-tac-toe passing now. That one takes a deflection off Hamadi and will be a corner. Tough break for the Eagles. You have to imagine if they don't score the next one, this game is all but over with 20 remaining against a team who doesn't allow goals.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we knew it was going to be a tough test coming into this one, with Bates only allowing 2 goals on the season. And the Eagles coming off of a big offensive weekend against Vermont State Linden and Vermont State Johnson. It was going to be a test, especially coming into this one knowing that it's a freshly ranked Bates Bobcats team.
Bobcats taking down Bowdoin and Amherst, 2 ranked opponents, by a combined 5-0. That propelled them up the rankings. Bates was 2 weeks ago, but the poll was prior to the Bates game. I'm not considering the game date. Not entirely sure how it all works itself out. Here's a chance for the Bobcats. Menchaca tries to head it away. That was Mesa trying to find his second. That one's ending up in the walk yard. And he'll be out for a corner, I believe.
Yeah, very dangerous opportunity there for Antonio Mesa, who already has a goal on the day. He was trying to put that one back, trying to give the Bates Bobcats a 3-0 advantage.
Here's Bridge, 3rd corner of the half. I believe they called a foul inside the box, so Husson will regain possession.
We're getting into the part of the game where the Eagles are going to have to start taking some risks.
Eagles have only won 3 times against the Bobcats. 2 of those wins coming in overtime. The last win coming in 2012. Where now Husson Hall of Famer Phil Frost netted 2 goals, including the overtime winner. That was in 2012 in Lewiston, Maine. 3-2 is the final of that one. Been a long time since Eagles have seen success against NESCAC schools. Trying to see if they can turn the tables in the next 20 minutes, 19 minutes that is. Miguel draws the foul. And an opportunity for Husson coming. Pressure sustained that Bates have had the entire game. It's just something you don't see that much, as we see Luke Parr working on Diaz-Alvarez here, just a shove in the back. Diaz-Alvarez hits the beads. And it will be the free kick. Normally you see offensive player play mistakes off those free kicks or corners that you might see, trying to just see what the defense gives them. You can't do that with Bates. Bates have not made a mistake, especially this back line, have not made a mistake for Mendez to pounce on.
Yeah, and Enrique Mendez has been one of those guys that capitalizes off mistakes. We've seen it so far this season.
Here could be one. Here's Diaz-Alvarez. He'll take a tough shot. Nassar, what a save. Diaz-Alvarez shot in close. Nassar proving why he's one of the best keepers in the nation.
Yeah, see, there we go. There's the test. That's a first test for Nassar, and he was very solid. He had the positioning. We take a look at it. Low stance, we're in the positioning, gets the hands up, and gets it to a point where his hands are kind of tilted back a little bit, so it's hitting off of the heel of his hand, and popping up over the top instead of being knocked down in front of him.
Sucre will take it. Long free kick taken. This one just going to take a bounce out wide. I feel like Bates will reset. They try to find Enrique Mendez on those ones. Tallest member on the offensive front for the Eagles, but when your tallest member would be the shortest member on the Bates back line, it's kind of hard to do.
Yeah, it's not really a recipe for success. Mendez has been usually one of the taller guys on the field, on that offensive third for Bates, for the Eagles, excuse me. But having a good tall back line for Bates has really proven to be a test for Enrique Mendez.
Mason way out of his net. Trying to punch that one away. Quick throw in will be coming. Trying to get Mason out of position. Can't get a good shot off of it. Here's Bridge. Parr. Rivero trying to cross it. Sucre's trying to get there first. Weinstein with a big step. Good little spin. I believe that was Knife. Menchaca picks it up. Someone we've noted, you don't really want to take Wessel Eldering out of the game at any point, but he has looked tremendous. Menchaca filling in that role. Here's Parr. He'll take a shot. Good save by Weinstein. Last second off the line.
Yeah, that one beat Mason to the far post side. And Enrique Weinstein being there, clearing it off the line.
Silas Montigny checking into the game now, another Maine product. So we'll get another look at this opportunity. Parr, nice little touch around glue time, and just Weinstein clearing the line. Not sure if you can give defensive saves, but that is definitely one of them, Jake.
Well, in field hockey, that would have been. But it's good work there from Weinstein. Right place, right time.
A Knife trying to force that one more to the middle, but it will be cleared away. Another corner coming for Bates. Last one was spoiled by a foul inside the box.
Into the Bobcats, number 8, Mauro Calora.
Turkish product, Mara Kalora, coming in at that last break.
Ollie Schiff-Stein. And then for the Eagles, number 40, Silas Montigny.
Bridge. Ball played in, touched across, somehow stays out of the back of the net. Another corner will be coming. This is Bates' signature play, Jake. They really don't run anything else. Just one person going to the front post. Everybody loads up at the backyard of the 6. That one played in. That one, what a save by Mason. Keeping the Eagles in this game with 14 left to go. Another corner coming, but Mason rising up to the occasion.
Yeah, that's one in the goalkeeping world we like to call the momentum shifter. Mason was very solid on that front.
This one played in, cleared immediately. Foul in the box. 3 corners. Eagles defend all of them. Need to start moving quickly, though. Here's that save again. Liam Mason. Ball just played in. What a header. Woo-hoo-hoo. Leaping up to get that one away.
Yeah, that was good placement on the ball there. Now we're seeing start to see a little bit of more pressure, a little more fast pace with
Blanco
under 13 to go.
Finds Mora, finds Sucre. Trying to find Diaz Alvarez. He's pretty fast and technical with it. Good defensive stand. Gravero ending the threat. Rivero has looked so solid. Miguel Diaz Alvarez, a shifty little winger, definitely can provide a spark for the Eagles. Gravero has shut down every opportunity that's come his way.
Yeah, it was good from Gravero. He blocked Diaz Alvarez to the outside. Wouldn't let him get over the top and into the inside.
Mora takes it to the touchline, poked away by Stevenson, and a corner coming for the Eagles. You'd like to see a result here. Mora will take it. Mendez working his way to the keeper. This one's coming right across the 6. Monsigny can't get his head on it. Diaz-Alvarez picks it up, forces it back across. Menchaca with the volley up and over the net.
Yeah, tough read there from Menchaca. That's one where you kind of got to get a little bit over top of the ball. As soon as those shoulders start to tip back, you're not going to be able to put that one on target. You got to get your shoulders over top of the ball. I know it's a little difficult. He's falling backwards.
Blanco trying to win the first one. Advantage played to Bates, and it will work out in their favor. The goal scorer, Knife, a goal and assist so far. What can he add to his day? Good defense there. I believe Menchaca got his foot on it. Blanco passes it up. 11 minutes remaining. Score remains the same, 2-0. Eagles fighting for every opportunity. A little bit more pace, though, in these last 5, Jake.
Yeah, absolutely. Seeing the Eagles having that push, we're seeing a good offensive opportunity for the Bobcats. But the Eagles, they're starting to test Nassar a little bit more. They got the corner. They got a couple corners. They got a couple opportunities in the area of the box.
Trying to force one up to Mendez. Another ball, one in the air. That's going to force it the other direction. Pereira is there, but it will go out for the corner. 10 minutes remaining. Thinking 2 goals in 5 minutes if you're the Eagles, but it is going to be really hard with the brick man in yellow.
Morrow, stay on the edge, Morrow! Morrow, stay on the edge!
Interested to see how the Eagles play this one. You want to play it defensive, don't want to allow a goal, but you have to spring off the counterattack here. Parr. Ball played into the back post. Who's there? Goal scorer, Knife. Working on Sucre. Touch around. What a move. Ball played in. Can't be picked up. And they're going to call it offside. Delayed reaction. Bates not happy. Whistle blows. Believe that is Parr. That will pick up the yellow card. And a yellow to Mason as well. No, I believe that one was just. So Parr was offside. That is what they're calling for. Great work by the camera crew. Bates is yelling from their sidelines, but the camera crew picked it up. Parr was definitely in the offside position. Great call by the assistant referee on the far side of us. Clock was stopped, so it will start again on the goal kick. Weinstein trying to force something up to Mora. He'll go out. Hewitt-Stevenson will take it.
Right now, Bates is just going to try and let the clock bleed a little bit. They have the 2-0 advantage.
Silas Monsigny trying to get up for that one, but it will go back the other direction. But right now, this is Bates' best defense. These offensive flashes they keep showing are just killing the time. Here's Parr. Glue time. Big step. Trying to get the ball away. No time to waste anymore if you're Husson. Shot played in. Oh, what a save by Mason. Long shot by Gravero. Mason keeps it out of the net.
Yeah, those long shots, they're tough. They're difficult to read as a goalkeeper because you don't know what the intention of the shot is. We see Mason make a great save with the left hand, trying and pushing it outside. So we get a look at it here. Shot coming in from Gravaro. And Mason looked like he kind of misread it a little bit, had to go behind him.
Corner was taken short. And just like that, Bates puts the game to rest with 7:45 remaining. Mesa gets his second off a quick cross.
You know, let's take a look at it here from our wonderful inside the goal angle, as Mesa kind of just got in front. Another angle
what
at
a
it
feed
here.
by Bridge. Face cut on Manuka just leads to the goal. Mesa 2 goals now. 3-0 Bates. Number 13 is looking really good.
Yeah, very good work from Bates. This last little stretch, they've gotten a little bit of an offensive push. It's going to be very hard for the Eagles to try and come back. I think we're going to start to see more of the original Eagles game plan of pushing the ball to the back and playing it back over top. Try and catch the defense off guard.
Glue time. Sucre. Trying to find someone. No one comes to the ball. Sucre has had a couple of those ones. Trying to find someone. Three 3-0 the score. Bates Bobcats on their way to a 6-1-1 start. One of their best starts in program history. Mesa hits the deck and a foul will be called just outside the 18.
Weinstein got the foot in there, tripped up the goal scorer, Mesa. So a very dangerous opportunity. Here's we see the spray paint get broken out here for the first time.
Bridge will take it. He added to his day with an assist on that last goal. Beautiful cross played in from the left-hand side. Finds Mesa cutting through the 18. What can he find here? Goes right off Mora, who just tries to clear it away. Picked up by Schiff Stein. Hands go up for Pars offsides. Nothing was called. Mason will pick it up.
Good read there from Mason, throwing the ball into the open space, letting his teammate run onto it.
Diaz Alvarez still working hard. 5 minutes left in a 3-0 game. It's like what you like to see out of a freshman. That one goes out for a Bates throw-in. This is a Bates team that is going to challenge on the national level. Honored with the 13th ranking. Not even a mere 5 hours ago. Up 3-0 against a Maine foe. Where they have one of the toughest stretches of their season. Ball played in. Pereira is there to clear it away. Bridge tries to force something in to his front line. Glue time, shove in the back. Nothing called in the moment. Just pushed away by Schiffstein.
Yeah, Schiffstein was looking for a call there. So the clock will stop as a Bates substitution will happen.
Under 15 minutes when the home team substitutes. Isker Alonso comes back on for Husson. But as I was saying, under 15 minutes when the home team substitutes in the NCAA, the clock does stop. And that is the reason for the stoppage.
Winning team.
The winning team.
Not the home team.
That is
just
right.
the winning team.
Winning team.
Can't give the people at home false information.
Touchdown inside the box. Bates looking for number 4. Jackson McBean, freshman, getting his first minutes out of Fairfield, Connecticut. First touches of his collegiate career. Another corner for Bates. Bridge will take it. Play to the back post, but Pereira wins the first ball, gets it clear. Manuka Pereira, in his career here at Husson, the senior has only played 747 minutes in 21 games. In his 11th game, he is about to surpass his career minute mark in his senior year. The captain of this team is just living up to it on this back line. Someone who didn't get the immediate start the first game of the season, but has certainly earned it over time. Here's Parr, touch around. The one they call the pit bull, Iker Alonso on him. Parr working his way towards the middle. Ball's just bouncing around. Luke Murray can't seem to grasp it, but this time he clears it. Miguel Diaz-Alvarez and Bridge going against each other. He keeps it in. Diaz-Alvarez trying to work around. Some brilliant footwork by Diaz-Alvarez.
Working through the contact, too.
Diaz-Alvarez getting vocal there with Schiffstein.
This is where you can't let the mental game get to you. You can't let the little things get to your head. So this is where a late game card like this in a non-conference midweek game could provide crucial into a conference weekend.
Pereira called offside there. That's the reason for the stoppage. Nassar on his way to another shutout. It'll be his 6th of the season in 8 games.
Absolutely insane numbers from Nassar this season.
Can't blame Husson for not finding the net. Some of the top programs in the nation haven't against this Bates defense. Diaz-Alvarez runs through that one. Ball's coming up. This one might come up to the press box. No.
We're going to get one of these days. But
this window open, all these monitors in here, could do some damage.
It could do some damage. But as I was saying to the shutout, the note about the shutouts, even the reigning national champions couldn't put one past this kid.
Liam Mason very comfortable with the ball at the feet. Clears this one away. He'll just give it to his goalkeeper, Nassar. Despite the 3 goals, a minute left, you have to say you've loved the performance from Liam Mason. The freshman goalkeeper earning his keep, I'd say, in between the pipes. Looked so promising. Some big saves. All the goals that you can say were let up were more defensive errors, not goalie reading errors.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw the first 2, they were shot on through traffic. We saw the third one on the corner. Just didn't, had a little bit of a delayed reaction on the defensive end on that corner. But very solid play from Liam Mason.
20 seconds left. Husson's going to try to take a positive away from this and the shutout streak. Here's one that's played in. Can't be found. Glue time. Everyone's just trying to get a foot on it. Miguel Diaz-Alvarez tries to spin around. But that will do it. Bates takes a 3-0 victory. The number 13th team in the nation lives up to it. The 6th shutout of the season for Nassar. And Bates goes 6-1-1 on the year.
Yeah, very solid effort from Bates. The scouting report that we had was very true to what they showed tonight. Not a lot of risks were taken by Bates. It's proved a 3-0 shutout. We saw a great save from Nassar down to our right. It was really the only time he got challenged today. Liam Mason, strong performance in net for the Eagles. But Bates really proven why they got national ranks this week.
And we go back to the pregame show where we said Carlos Bermudez told us you have to be perfect against Nezcacs. Any weakness you show, they will punish you. And I feel like Husson had 3 mistakes, 3 glaring mistakes, and those 3 ended it up in the back of the net.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who's your player of the game, Jacob?
It has to be the three-point man, Luke Cuniff. He had a goal and assist, tally 3 points on the day. He got the one to open the game, which proved to be the game winner in a 3-0 victory. But Cuniff there, he was wide. He was in the middle. 4 goals so far on the season. The freshman from Windham, Maine, showing up here this evening.
One thing I love about that is, like we said, this Bates team, NESCACs in particular, don't really recruit from Maine. To see someone from Maine make such an impact in a battle between 2 Maine schools, it's always nice to see.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always nice to see throughout coming in, these guys playing these home schools. There's got to be a little bit of a chip on the shoulder, a little bit of a fire inside of them to show that even though that they weren't in the local area, they still are making an impact in the state games.
And that will do it for us. Bates takes the 3-0 victory. Caden Trenowith alongside Jake Ouellette. Thank you to everybody at NESCOM's Productions for this special edition of the Husson